Red dust storms spun across the barren surface of Proxima 7, striking the great walls of Proxima Station with a sound like distant thunder. Inside the docking bay, the air felt heavy, as if the station itself was holding its breath. Commander Marcus Hill stood like a statue near the docking platform. His sleeveless black armor showed the scars of old battles, his blonde hair a little wild from the air recyclers. Blue eyes, sharp and cold, watched the sealed ship doors. Everyone else could feel it too. Something was coming. Lieutenant Parker shifted nervously behind him. "Feels like a storm inside and outside," he whispered. Marcus said nothing. He had read the briefing. He knew who was inside that ship. The ramp hissed as it lowered, steam sliding down like ghosts. Before anyone could see her, the smell of sweet incense drifted out, clinging to the cold air. A line of alien servants appeared first, carrying containers decorated with strange symbols. Then she came. Lady Alara Kvari. She didn't walk. She glided. Her crimson skin gleamed like metal under the lights, her golden eyes scanning the humans with open disdain. Hair like molten fire cascaded down her back in jeweled braids. Her black outfit clung to her like a weapon. It was cut to shock, not to hide. Marcus stepped forward. "Lady Kvari, on behalf of the Federation, welcome to Proxima Station. I'm Commander Hill. I'll personally handle your security." Her lips curved in a small, cruel smile. "A human. How quaint. I expected someone more impressive." Marcus kept his voice steady. "My record speaks for itself." She began circling him like a predator tasting the air. "We'll see." She flicked her fingers. Her entourage moved ahead without a word. As they walked down the main corridor, crew members stepped aside. Some stared, some whispered. Alara's voice sliced the silence. "Your scanners are weak. Your guards are sloppy. Any determined killer could bypass these protocols." Marcus replied evenly, "Our systems are top of the line. I personally vetted every officer." She stopped suddenly, turning to face him. "You don't understand who I am," she said. She poked his chest with a single finger. "I am heir to the greatest fortune in 3-star systems. My bloodline reaches back to the founders of the Conquered. I could buy this station with a single signature." Marcus stayed calm. "Your status is in your file, Lady Kvari." She poked him again, harder. "You don't even look at me with the respect I deserve. Poke. You think you can ignore me? Poke." She stepped closer, eyes flashing. "Do you even understand what it means to stand before me?" Her finger rose again, but this time she brushed his jawline, tracing the stubble along his chin. Primitive features. "Fascinating." Marcus's patience snapped. In one smooth motion, he caught her wrist. Not hard, but firm. Before she could react, he leaned forward and bit her finger. Not a savage bite. A warning. The corridor froze. Even the background hum seemed to vanish. Alara stared at him, golden eyes wide. You bit me?" Marcus released her wrist and held her gaze. "Even humans have boundaries," he said quietly. For a long moment she didn't move. She wasn't angry. She wasn't frightened. She looked intrigued. Before either could speak again, alarms blared through the corridor. "Security breach in Sector 7, the station AI announced. All personnel respond immediately." Marcus tapped his wrist communicator. "What's happening?" "Someone's inside the main computer core," Parker's voice shouted. "Trying to hack the defense grid." Marcus turned to Alara. "You'll be escorted to your quarters." "Stay there. I don't take orders. This isn't a request." Marcus cut her off, signaling to 2 guards. His voice was pure steel. For once, Lady Alara Kvari didn't argue. As the guards approached, Marcus was already moving toward Sector 7, mind racing. He didn't see her pause, watching him go. Didn't see her golden eyes narrow with interest. Didn't see her hand rise to the finger he had bitten, brushing it softly, a slow smile curving her lips. The wind outside howled against the station walls, but inside, the real storm had just begun. The red alert lights turned the corridor into a tunnel of blood-colored shadows. Sirens screamed above the hum of the station's engines. Soldiers and techs ran in every direction, but Commander Marcus Hill moved like a blade through chaos. His communicator buzzed at his wrist. "Sector 7 breach confirmed," Parker's voice shouted. "They're inside the main computer core. Someone's trying to override the defense grid." "I'm on my way," Marcus snapped, already sprinting. Behind him, 2 security officers closed ranks around Lady Alara Kavari, but the alien aristocrat didn't look afraid. Her golden eyes watched Marcus disappear around the corner. She touched the finger he had bitten moments before, a slow smile playing at her lips. "Interesting human," she murmured. Sector 7 was the heart of the station's nervous system. Glowing consoles, heavy cables, and armored doors built to withstand direct bombardment. When Marcus arrived, half his team was already there, weapons drawn, scanning the maintenance tunnels. "Status," he barked. "No visuals on intruders," Parker reported, sweat beading on his forehead. "But someone's running a ghost program through the defense grid." "Sophisticated stuff," Marcus's blue eyes narrowed. "This isn't a random hacker. This is recon. Someone is mapping our systems." He stepped to the main console and pulled up a holographic display. A red spiderweb of intrusion points crawled across the screen, moving closer to the station's defense controls. "Cut external access," Marcus ordered. "Lock down every port. I want firewalls stacked like bricks." "Aye, sir." But even as his team scrambled, a deeper unease built in Marcus's chest. The intruders weren't going for data theft. They were testing response times, scouting vulnerabilities, preparing for something bigger. He turned to Parker. "Double the guards around Lady Kavari. Move her to the inner hub if necessary." "Already done, sir." Back in the diplomatic wing, Lady Alara Kavari stood in her lavish quarters, staring at the shimmering walls. Incense burned softly, sweet and heavy. The 2 human guards posted at the door looked nervous. She, however, was calm. She had been targeted before. Kidnapping attempts, poison attempts, a shape-shifting assassin once. This was new but not surprising. Power always attracted predators. She traced the spot on her finger where Marcus had bitten her. It didn't hurt. It tingled. No one had ever dared touch her like that. No one had ever told her no. The walls trembled slightly under her hands. Somewhere far off, a thud. She tilted her head, listening. The guards shifted uneasily. "Everything under control?" she asked lightly. "Yes, Lady Kavari," one stammered. She smiled a little. "Of course it is. In Sector 7, Marcus's worst fears came true. They're inside the maintenance ducts," Parker said, voice rising. "Moving fast." "Multiple heat signatures armed. How many?" Marcus demanded. "At least 6. Mercadian build," another officer added grimly. Tall, dense muscle, 4 eyes. Not known for stealth, Marcus's jaw tightened. Mercadians were blunt instruments, not hackers. Someone with deep pockets was paying them, to be precise. "Seal the ducts leading to the central hub," Marcus ordered. "Move Lady Kavari to secure quarters now." Suddenly, static ripped through his communicator. "Commander, we're under attack at—" The voice cut off. "They're jamming our comms," Parker said. Marcus's heart kicked hard. They weren't just probing anymore. They were moving, fast. Lady Alara turned as the lights in her quarters flickered. The sweet incense smell mixed with the acrid scent of burning circuits. The 2 guards raised their weapons, eyes scanning the room. "What is happening?" she asked, though her voice stayed calm. Before the guards could answer, a section of the wall hissed open, a maintenance hatch. A shadow moved behind it. The first intruder came through like a phantom, tall, armored, 4-eyed. Energy rifles in hand, the guards fired. One went down under a bolt of plasma before the second could even aim. Alara didn't scream. She didn't run. She ducked low, grabbed the fallen guard's sidearm in a smooth motion, and fired 2 precise shots into the intruder's chest. The creature dropped, hissing. The second guard stared at her, stunned. "You stay alive," she said coolly, then moved for cover as more shadows appeared in the hatch. Marcus was already running, pulse rifle in hand. The station's emergency lights flashed like heartbeats. His boots pounded the floor. He didn't need a report to know where the attackers were headed. They were going for Lady Alara Kavari. Inside the quarters, smoke curled up from scorched walls. Another Mercadian lunged out of the hatch, swinging the butt of its rifle like a club. Alara twisted aside, fired once, then twice. Both shots deflected off heavy armor. It roared, raising its weapon. The door to the room slammed open. Marcus charged in like a thunderbolt, firing his pulse rifle on full burst. The Mercadian staggered under the impact and fell back through the hatch. "Stay behind me!" Marcus shouted. "I'm not helpless." Alara shot back, crouching beside him with the sidearm steady. 3 more Mercadians poured through the hatch. The room erupted in energy bolts and screams. Marcus dropped one with a clean shot to the head. Alara took the second in the knee, then the chest. The third fired wildly, scorching the ceiling. Smoke filled the room. The walls vibrated under the impact of stray bolts. Marcus spun, grabbing Alara's arm. "Escape hatch, now!" She didn't argue. She holstered the weapon, grabbed a small data case from the table, and moved with him toward the inner bedroom. Behind them, more Mercadians spilled through the hatch. "Seal it!" Marcus ordered, hitting the emergency control. The door hissed shut behind them, but not for long. He yanked open the hidden panel in the bedroom wall, revealing a narrow maintenance tunnel lit by dim red light. "Ladies first," he said. "Protecting the asset?" She asked with a thin smile. "Exactly." Alara's eyes gleamed like molten gold. "Very well, Commander." She climbed into the tunnel with surprising grace. Marcus followed, sealing the hatch just as a heavy blow struck the door behind them. The sound of metal warping echoed through the bedroom. "They'll be through in seconds," Marcus muttered. "They'll follow," Alara said calmly, moving deeper into the tunnel. Marcus glanced at her, pulse rifle tight in his hands. "Then we make sure they regret it." The red lights flickered across their faces as they moved, two shadows slipping into the heart of the station, with death close behind. The tunnel was narrow, its walls breathing heat from the station's core. Red emergency lights pulsed like a heartbeat, painting Marcus Hill and Lady Alara Kvari in flickers of blood-colored glow. Every few steps, the echo of their boots was swallowed by deeper sounds, metallic scraping, low growls, footsteps not their own. "They're following," Marcus murmured. His pulse rifle was raised, finger brushing the trigger. "Stay close." "I am close," Alara whispered back, eyes glinting gold in the dim light. "But you're moving too loud, Commander." "Welcome to human maintenance tunnels," Marcus said. They weren't designed for stealth or comfort. A faint clang came from the ducts above. Alara's head tilted like a predator's. "3. Maybe 4 of them," she said softly. Marcus glanced at her. "You can hear that?" "My people were raised in echoing caverns," she replied. "I know when something big is hunting me." They reached a junction where the tunnel split into 2 paths. One sloped downward toward the lower decks. The other rose toward the cargo processing section. Marcus paused, thinking fast. "They'll expect us to keep going down," he muttered. "We'll go up. Cargo floor's a maze. Easier to lose them there. Or easier to be ambushed," Alara said calmly. "That too," Marcus admitted. "But it's our best shot." She gave a small, dangerous smile. "Lead the way, human." They climbed the ladder rungs into a higher passage. This one was wider, designed for maintenance drones. They could almost stand straight now. The air smelled of ozone and machine oil. Far ahead, the low roar of conveyor belts rose and fell like distant waves. Marcus checked the charge on his rifle. "When we hit the cargo floor, stay low, move fast." "They're armed with plasma rifles. We'll use the containers for cover." Alara slid the sidearm from its holster and spun it once between her fingers. "Understood." Marcus's eyes flicked to her. "You're too good with that for a diplomat." "My father taught me the price of weakness," she said without looking at him. "Better to be underestimated." The tunnel ended at a graded platform overlooking the cargo section. Below them stretched a labyrinth of towering containers and humming machinery. Shadows shifted between the stacks. Too slow, too deliberate to be machines. "They're here already," Marcus whispered. "They're waiting." "Then we stop waiting," Alara replied. They descended to the main floor, slipping between containers. The air was cooler here, and the sound of moving belts masked their steps. Marcus moved like a ghost, rifle sweeping arcs. Alara mirrored him on the opposite side, eyes scanning every shadow. A sudden hiss, a flash of metal, then plasma bolts cut through the air where Marcus had been standing a heartbeat before. He shoved Alara behind a crate. Energy bolts chewed glowing scars into the container's metal skin. "They've got us in a crossfire," Marcus said grimly. Alara peeked out, fired 2 shots to force the attackers back. "Positions?" "2 left high ground. 1 moving low right," Marcus answered instantly. She nodded. "Leapfrog," he looked at her, surprised. "You know leapfrog?" "I know tactics," she said simply. "Go." Marcus rolled from cover, firing a burst at the left flank. Alara moved out behind him, her own shots pushing the low attacker back. They advanced together, container by container, closing the distance. The first Mercadian broke cover. Big, armored, 4 eyes glowing like coals. Marcus's pulse rifle spat blue light, punching through its chest plate. It fell, a thud shaking the deck. The second tried to flank from above. Alara pivoted, firing clean into its shoulder. It staggered, exposing itself to Marcus's follow-up shot. It went down hard, armor clattering, silence for a heartbeat. Then the third attacker dropped from a catwalk like a falling boulder, landing between them with a roar. It swung its rifle like a club. Marcus ducked, rolled, came up with his knife in hand. The Mercadian lunged at Alara. She kicked back, slammed her sidearm into its face and fired point blank. The bolt seared across its jaw but didn't drop it. It turned on her with a hiss. Marcus launched himself at its back, knife flashing. He drove the blade into the gap of its armor. The creature howled, staggering. Alara finished it with a clean shot to the throat. It collapsed at their feet. Breathing hard, Marcus wiped sweat from his brow. "You all right?" Alara's golden eyes burned like stars. "Better than all right." He looked at her, really looked, as adrenaline hummed between them. She stood with perfect balance, sidearm still smoking, crimson skin lit by the red lights. Not a pampered noble, not a target, a fighter, an equal. "You're full of surprises," he said quietly. "I told you," she replied, a small dangerous smile curling her lips. Not always pampered. The quiet lasted only seconds. Marcus's communicator buzzed weakly through the jamming static. "Commander!" Multiple hostiles. Still active. The voice dissolved into noise. Marcus's gut tightened. "That's 3 down." "There are more," Alara reloaded smoothly. "Then we keep moving." He nodded, scanning the maze of containers. "Security station on the far side. If we get there, we can punch through the jamming." "Then let's go," she said. They slipped deeper into the labyrinth. Shadows moved again, flickers of motion where none should be. Marcus raised his rifle, heart steady, mind cold. This wasn't just survival anymore. It was a test. A war played out in narrow corridors and steel mazes. And in the darkness, a human and an alien moved together, 2 predators learning each other's rhythm. Behind them, somewhere in the tunnels, metal scraped on metal, reinforcements, heavy footsteps. Marcus glanced at Alara. "Ready?" Her golden eyes flashed like molten gold. "I've been ready since you bit me." The echo of her words hung in the air as they advanced into the shadows, weapons raised side by side. The cargo bay doors sealed behind them with a hiss. Silence returned, thick, hot, and full of tension. The kind of silence that comes after survival. But just before the truth, Marcus leaned against a cold metal crate, rechecking his rifle. His hands moved fast and steady, but his mind was spinning. They had just taken down trained mercenaries. Together. A human security commander and the daughter of the most powerful being in 3 systems, Lady Alara. Kvari stood just a few steps away, red skin shining under emergency lights, her breath still heavy from the fight. She hadn't flinched, not once. She hadn't panicked. She hadn't run, she had killed. And now, she stood there calmly reloading her sidearm like a soldier. "You fought like someone trained for war," Marcus said at last. His voice low. She looked at him, golden eyes unreadable. "Maybe because I was." "That wasn't just self-defense," he said. "That was practiced. You've done this before." Alara walked slowly toward him, the soft hum of machinery the only sound. "Do you really think I survived this long on charm and diplomacy alone?" "I thought, I don't know. Maybe your guards always handled it." She gave a short, humorless laugh. "My father made sure I was trained. Every weapon, every counter, every scenario." He said, "Power without skill is just decoration." He didn't raise a decoration. Marcus's gaze met hers. "No armor, no titles, just truth. I misjudged you," he admitted. "You're not the first," she replied. A pause. Heavy, intimate. Then softly she asked, "Do you regret biting me?" Marcus blinked. "That's not what I expected you to say." She stepped closer. "You bit me in public, in front of my guards, my servants. You didn't care who I was." "I didn't mean to insult you," Marcus said carefully. You were pushing too hard. I snapped. But you didn't hurt me, she said. You made a point. Clearly, firmly, without cruelty. Marcus watched her hand rise, the one he had bitten, and gently touch her own lips, as if remembering the pressure. In my culture, she continued, that act isn't seen as weakness. It's seen as dominance. But not just physical, emotional control, restraint, power without rage. I didn't do it for culture, Marcus said. I just wanted you to stop poking me. Alara smiled, small but real. That's the second reason I'm here, she said. Here? He asked, confused. In this cargo bay. With you, after a firefight, after 2 near-death moments in one day. She tilted her head. You make me feel real, Marcus frowned. You are real. No, she said, softly but firmly. I'm a symbol, a daughter, a pawn, a weapon of wealth, a walking treaty. You saw me as someone annoying, someone frustrating, someone equal. That's rare. Marcus exhaled slowly, his rifle lowering just a bit. You don't need me to protect you, he said finally. No, she agreed. But I want you to. Another beat passed between them. Not silence. Something warmer, then her eyes softened. You know, you never told me your first name. Marcus, she whispered it once. Testing it. Tasting it, Marcus, she repeated. Strong, earthly, I like it. He gave her a small nod. And you prefer Alara, not Lady Kavari? Gods, yes, she groaned. Lady Kavari is someone my father invented. Alara is me. He stepped closer now, closing the space between them. The cargo floor faded away. The sound of machines, far-off alarms. None of it mattered. Just 2 warriors in a moment too rare to waste. She looked up at him. And if I poke you again? I might bite again, Marcus said. She grinned. Good. Then she reached for him. Not quickly. Not with fire. But with purpose. Her fingers brushed his face, tracing his jawline where stubble met skin. You're not like others, she said quietly. Neither are you. They stood there, still and slow, breathing the same air, hearts pounding just a little faster. Her eyes searched his face for hesitation. She found none. He leaned in. She met him halfway. The kiss was not explosive. It was steady, solid, like a bridge between 2 worlds. And it wasn't about lust. It was about trust, about choosing to feel something, even in the middle of danger, especially in the middle of danger. When they pulled apart, she was smiling. Not the royal smirk, not the arrogant sneer, a real smile. I don't usually kiss my bodyguards, she said. I don't usually fall for my assignments, Marcus replied. Fall, she asked, golden eyes suddenly sharper. He began. She pressed a finger to his lips. I know what you mean, she said. Don't ruin it with big words. Just then, blare. The emergency lights shifted. Red to white. A new alert flashed across the wall monitor. Reinforcements detected. Additional hostile signals approaching. Cargo section compromised. Marcus stepped back, rechecking his rifle. We're not done. Alara holstered her weapon. We've barely started. Side by side again. Partners. Not just in combat, in something more. As they moved deeper into the station, Marcus spoke without looking at her. When this is over, we talk. Not as soldier and diplomat, just Marcus and Alara, she nodded. Deal. The shadows closed around them once more, but now they didn't feel so alone. The lights of Proxima Station flickered back to normal. Red alerts faded. Smoke was cleared. Bodies were removed, but the war wasn't over. It was just changing shape. Commander Marcus Hill stood at the main briefing room, battle-worn but focused. Across the table stood Admiral Thorson, stiff, formal, and full of political caution. You need to understand something, the Admiral said coldly. She's not your ally. She is not your girlfriend. She is the daughter of Tiberius Kavari, the man who could start a war just by blinking in the wrong direction. Marcus kept his voice calm. She also saved my life. That doesn't matter, Thorson snapped. What matters is that her father's ship is now entering Proxima orbit. He's coming, and he doesn't know the truth. The truth? That there was a full assassination attempt. That we nearly lost his daughter on Federation soil. That we covered it up to prevent interstellar collapse. Thorson leaned forward. You will keep her contained. You will say nothing. You will do your job. Marcus didn't reply, but his silence wasn't agreement. It was defiance. Elsewhere, deep in the inner levels of Proxima Station, Lady Alara Kvari stood by the wide viewport in her temporary quarters. The stars stretched forever outside, cold, endless. She had changed into formal diplomatic robes. Deep green and gold embroidery traced the edges. Her hair was braided, pulled back with royal precision. But her eyes were not calm. They were storming. When Marcus entered, she didn't turn around. He's here, she said quietly. Yes, Marcus confirmed. Lord Tiberius Kvari is docking. Alara finally looked at him. They'll try to hide the truth, won't they? Your people, the Federation, your admiral. They already are, Marcus admitted. They're scared. Of my father? He nodded. She laughed softly, bitterly. They should be. But not for the reasons they think. Marcus took a step closer. I've seen what you can do, Alara. The way you lead. The way you fight. He needs to see that too. Oh, he'll see it, she said, eyes sharp. But not with a speech. With results. She opened a small black case on the table beside her. Inside were signed trade documents, resource maps, and a completed mining agreement that balanced power between the Federation and the Kvari Empire. Ethical, efficient, profitable. I came here for a mission, Alara said. Not to be locked away in a luxury suite like a spoiled relic. I came to prove that I can lead, not just survive. Marcus looked at the documents. You did that, this deal. It's better than what the Federation expected. It's better than what my father expected, she corrected. He gave her a small smile. Then show him. On your terms. The docking bay was silent as Lord Tiberius Kvari stepped out of his ship. Tall, broad-shouldered, crimson skin darker than Alara's, etched with time and war. His golden eyes scanned the reception committee like a predator choosing which one to eat first. Admiral Thorson stepped forward stiffly. Lord Kvari, welcome to Proxima Station. We're honored. Where is my daughter? The alien lord interrupted. Thorson stammered. She's safe, of course. Under heavy protection. I didn't ask if she was safe, Kvari growled. I asked where she is. And then she appeared. Alara stepped through the crowd, head held high, a data crystal in one hand and fire in her eyes. I'm right here, Father. The room went silent. Everyone watched. And then, Lord Kvari smiled. Alara, he said, voice low but warm. You look strong. I am, she replied. They stood facing each other. No hugs, no tears. Just tension held by pride and power. Marcus stood a few steps behind, watching. My guards tell me there was unrest, Lord Kvari said. There was an attack, Alara replied simply. We handled it. Who's we? He asked, gaze flicking to Marcus. Me and Commander Marcus Hill? I see. His eyes narrowed. Did he protect you? Yes, she said. But did he obey? No, she said with a small smile. He challenged me. Bit me, actually. There were murmurs among the humans. Lord Kvari raised an eyebrow, then laughed. Finally, he said, someone with backbone. He turned to Marcus. You didn't run. You didn't bow. And you didn't treat her like glass. Marcus stood tall. I treated her like a soldier. Like a leader. Like a partner. Good, Kvari said. Because that's what she is. Alara stepped forward. I have something to present. She held out the data crystal. The mining deal is complete. Ethical, profitable, fair. My team worked with Federation leaders. Commander Hill helped ensure safety. We negotiated while being hunted. Lord Kvari took the crystal, studied it, then looked at her. You did all this after being attacked? I did it because I was attacked, she said. Because I'm not just your daughter. I'm a leader. Silence, then he nodded slowly. I approve. Alara exhaled, but only slightly. Then I'd like to stay, she added. To oversee the agreement, to lead the next steps. Kvari looked at her, then at Marcus, then back again. If you stay, he said, you stay on your own strength. Not under my shadow. I want nothing less, she said. He smiled, a rare, proud smile. Then stay. Just don't get yourself killed. No promises, she smirked. He turned to leave, but paused, then glanced at Marcus one last time. "Watch her back. And bite less." "Yes, sir," Marcus replied with a grin. 2 days had passed since Lord Kavari's departure. The station had returned to its rhythm. Silent halls, humming engines, metal floors echoing with distant boots. But for Commander Marcus Hill, nothing was the same anymore. He wasn't just the head of security anymore. He was the man who bit an alien princess and lived. Lady Alara Kavari had stayed behind, now officially in charge of the mining deal between the Kavari Empire and the Federation. The contract she had completed was already being called the Proxima Accord, but whispers had begun spreading through the corridors. Whispers about her and the human commander. Marcus stood on the observation deck, looking out at the red planet below. Its surface glowed like burning coals beneath the sun. He didn't hear her footsteps, but he felt her presence, the faint scent of her alien perfume, like hot metal and sweet spice. "Commander Hill," she said softly. "Lady Kavari," he replied without turning. "Still pretending we're strangers?" He turned to look at her. She was in a sleek diplomatic uniform now, high collar, long coat, gold trim that shimmered when she moved. She looked powerful, calm, untouchable, but her eyes betrayed her. "Your father's ship just left orbit," Marcus said. "You're free now." "Free?" she echoed, stepping closer. "Freedom is a strange word. I'm still surrounded by guards, politics, and suspicion. The only difference is she stopped right in front of him. This time I chose to stay." He studied her for a long moment. "You didn't stay for the politics." "No," she admitted, voice barely a whisper. "I stayed for unfinished business. Later." Inside her new quarters, larger, more secure, and still filled with faint traces of incense, Alara stood by a holographic table, going over projections for the mining operations. Marcus entered quietly. "You asked to see me?" "Yes," she said, not looking up. "The Federation's new envoys arrive tomorrow. I want you there. As security, as my partner," she said simply. He blinked. "That's not how this works, Alara." "That's exactly how it works," she countered, finally meeting his eyes. "You've already proven yourself better than most politicians I've met. You see details they don't, you rid people. You act when others hesitate," Marcus sighed. "You do realize half the station already thinks I'm sleeping with you." Alara tilted her head. "Are you complaining or confessing?" He couldn't help the faint smirk. "Just stating facts." She smiled, a real one, the kind that cracked through her royal armor. "Good. Then let's give them something to talk about." The next morning's diplomatic meeting was tense. Federation officers, trade officials, and AI scribes filled the glass conference room. But when Alara entered, crimson skin, golden eyes glowing under the white light, the room went quiet. Marcus followed 2 steps behind her, silent but watchful. "Let's begin," she said, her voice smooth but commanding. "Our proposal ensures stability for both sides. I don't deal in threats, I deal in results." Her calm confidence was disarming. Even Director Preston, the Federation's most skeptical official, nodded along as she spoke. When one delegate questioned her loyalty, Marcus stepped forward. "Voice hard as steel. Lady Kavari doesn't need to prove loyalty," he said. "She just saved your defense network from collapse. You can thank her, or you can lose this deal. Your choice." The room went silent again. Alara turned her head slightly, hiding a small smile. The deal was signed within the hour. That night, the celebration was quiet. Just 2 glasses of amber liquid on her table. "To success," she said, raising her glass. "To survival," he replied. They drank. For a while, there was only the soft hum of the station's systems and the faint rhythm of their breathing. Alara set her glass down. "You've done more for me than most of my own kind ever have." "Just doing my job," Marcus said. "Liar," she whispered, stepping closer. "You didn't fight for duty. You fought for me." He didn't deny it. Her hand rose, fingers tracing the edge of his jaw again, the same way she had when everything began. "Tell me something," she said. "Do humans always risk everything for connection?" "Only when it's worth it. And am I worth it?" He smiled faintly. "You already know the answer," She leaned in until her breath warmed his cheek. Good. Their lips met, not in desperation this time, but in understanding. Two soldiers from different worlds, choosing something they both knew could cost them everything. A sharp tone broke the moment. Marcus's communicator flared red. "Commander!" Parker's voice came through, panicked. "We've got movement outside the docking ring. Unidentified vessel, no transponder, approaching fast." Marcus froze. "How fast?" "Too fast." He turned toward Alara. "Get to the command center." She was already moving. "Not without you." As the alarms blared once more, the lovers turned soldiers again. Armor instead of words. Weapons instead of promises. The galaxy had given them one night of peace, and now it wanted it back. Space was never quiet. It only pretended to be. Outside Proxima Station, stars glittered like cold fire, until one of them moved. An unidentified vessel, black as shadow, broke from the void and charged straight toward the station. Inside, alarms howled. "Unmarked cruiser inbound. All defense teams, battle ready." Commander Marcus Hill was already moving. Armor sealed, rifle loaded. He had known peace wouldn't last, not for people like him, not for humans. Beside him, Lady Alara Kavari matched. His stride, her own weapon drawn, smaller, alien-built, deadly. Her golden eyes burned with calm fire. "This isn't a trade ship," she said. "It's a hunter." "Then let's remind them who they're hunting," Marcus replied. The docking bay trembled as the cruiser's hooks latched onto the station's hull. Metal screamed. Air hissed. Then, boom! The first explosion tore through the lower ring. Marcus and Alara were thrown forward, hitting the floor hard. Smoke rolled through the corridor, thick and choking. "They're breaching!" Parker's voice crackled through the comm. "Multiple boarding pods, Sector 4, 5 and 6. Marcus rose instantly. "Reroute security drones to the central hub. Lock down everything past Deck B12. "On it, Commander." He turned to Alara. "We can't hold all sectors." "We protect the command core. That's what they want." She nodded. "And if they get through?" "They won't." The station lights dimmed, switching to red emergency mode. Shadows stretched across the hallways. Marcus led the way through narrow passages, moving fast but quiet. Every sound mattered. Every heartbeat echoed. Ahead, movement. 3 armored mercenaries. Heavy plasma rifles. Marcus gestured. Alara dropped low. He stepped into view, drawing fire. Blue bolts scorched the walls around him. He counted the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, then fired back. 2 down. The third turned, and a golden flash lit the air as Alara's bolt hit its neck. The corridor went silent again. Marcus looked at her, half grinning through the smoke. "Perfect shot," she smirked. "I had a good teacher." They reached the command core just as another explosion shook the deck. Sparks rained from the ceiling. The door locks flickered. "Override from outside," Parker shouted through the console. "They're hacking the inner systems." Marcus grabbed the manual lever. "Then we'll stop them the old-fashioned way." The door burst open. 6 attackers stormed in. Marcus and Alara moved as one. Instinct, rhythm, fire. His rifle sang in sharp bursts. Her sidearm answered in golden flashes. Bodies hit the floor. Smoke filled the room. But then came something worse. A figure in silver armor, taller than any human, stepping through the smoke. 4 eyes glowed white. "Dravik," Alara whispered. "My father's rival." The alien smiled, voice smooth through the helmet speaker. "You survived my assassins. Impressive. But now, little princess, your luck ends." "Funny," Marcus said, raising his rifle. "That's what the last 6 said." Dravik laughed, the sound metallic. "Human arrogance. You really believe your species matters?" Marcus stepped forward. "No, we prove it." The battle was fast and brutal. Dravik's energy blade clashed with Marcus's pulse rifle, sparks flying with every strike. Alara circled, firing shots that glanced off the mercenary's armor. Dravik swung wide, knocking Marcus off balance. The rifle flew across the room. Marcus rolled, dodging another blow by inches. You bleed easily, Dravik sneered. Marcus stood, wiping blood from his mouth. Maybe, but we bite back, he charged. Dravik swung the blade, expecting fear, but Marcus ducked under it and slammed into him, driving the alien back into a console. Circuits burst. The alien roared and grabbed Marcus by the throat. Humans, Dravik hissed, always reaching above your place. And then, a flash. A streak of gold. Alara fired point blank into Dravik's chest. The shot didn't kill him, but it gave Marcus one opening. 1 second. He tore free, grabbed the alien's wrist, and bit, hard, deep. Dravik screamed, shocked. The grip loosened. Marcus ripped the energy blade from his hand and drove it straight through the alien's chest plate. Lesson 1, Marcus growled. Never underestimate a human. Dravik fell. The glow in his eyes dimmed. The silence afterward was heavier than any explosion. Alara was breathing hard, her weapon still raised. You actually bit him. Marcus wiped blood from his lip and gave a half smile. Old habit, she laughed. Tired, beautiful, alive. You really are insane. Only when it works, he replied. They stood together in the flickering light, surrounded by wreckage, a human and an alien who had just saved a station that didn't believe in them. Hours later, the fires were out, the mercenaries captured. The threat ended. Marcus and Alara sat side by side near the observation window, looking out at the silent stars. Your Federation will call you reckless, she said softly. My father will call me disobedient. And what will you call us? Marcus asked. She smiled. Alive. He turned toward her. You know, this will cause chaos in half the galaxy. Good, she said. It needs shaking up. He laughed quietly. What now? Now, she whispered, leaning close. You stop calling me Lady Kavari. You call me Alara. And you call me, she interrupted with a smile. Marcus, I already do. They looked out at the endless dark together. The universe had tried to kill them, control them, separate them, and failed. Because humans, when pushed, don't bow. They adapt. They fight. They bite back.